Okay, when solving equations with the variable on both sides, like I said, the first step depends on the equation. So, what you want to keep in mind is that the order of the steps do not really matter, but you want to focus on isolating the variable. So, whichever step comes first doesn't matter. Focus on isolating the variable, and you will end up with the correct answer. So remember the rules for isolating the variable, combining like terms. Remove addition with subtraction. Remove subtraction with addition. Remove multiplication with division, and remove division with multiplication. Now looking at this equation says, let's rewrite the equation. It says 5x minus 3 equals 2x plus 4. Okay, the equation has a left-hand side and a right-hand side. What terms do we see on the left-hand side? 5x minus 3. How many terms? 2. What are the terms? 5x and negative 3. Those are the two terms we see. Okay. On the right-hand side, how many terms do we see? 2. What are the terms? 2x and positive 4. In order to isolate x, you want to start with this variable that is sitting on both sides. You want to deal with that part first. Okay. So the x is on the right hand side as 2x, and then we have the x on the left hand side as 5x. Look for the smaller one. The smaller one is the 2x. Subtract 2x from each side. So minus 2x and minus 2x. Notice that you're subtracting the x term under the corresponding x term because you want to subtract under like terms. Okay, that said, 2x minus 2x here is 0. That is why you subtract it. Now you bring this positive 4 right here. It sits right here. You don't worry about that x term anymore on the right hand side because it has become 0. That is why you subtract it. It has been eliminated. Okay, it will adjust itself on this other side. It is an equation. Things are balancing out. It is balancing over here as 5x minus 2x. 5x minus 2x is 3x. So you bring down here the new term in the equation. The brand new term is 3x. 3x emerges. This negative 3 that was sitting there, just bring it down the way it is, negative 3. So now you have a new equation. This new equation is a two-step equation. To solve a two-step equation, you need to remove subtraction or addition first, and then secondly remove multiplication. We see subtraction right there. That's a negative 3. So we undo that subtraction, undo that negative, okay? Undo that negative. So to undo that negative, we will use the opposite of subtracting. So minus 3, the opposite of subtracting 3 is adding the same number 3. That's going to make it 0. Okay, those are called additive inverses. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Okay, so that is why we do that. This will become 0. Now on this right hand side, we must also add a 3. It is an equation. It will balance out on this side. Okay, don't worry that where did this negative 3 go? It came over here as a positive 3. It crossed the equality sign, became a positive 3 over there. So things are balancing out, and you going down and making the equation smaller and smaller. That is called reducing the equation. That is called simplifying. That is called solving the equations. Okay, all those mean the same thing. All right, so 3x is now equal to 7. All right, now the last step is to undo multiplication. You undo multiplication with division, but where is the multiplication? Do you see any multiplication in there? All right, if you have seen the multiplication, that is great. It is hiding between this 3 and that x. 3x means 3 times x. So we rewrite this so that we do not get lost. We don't want to lose this form. We want to say that we knew that 3x was equal to 7, and now we will divide by 3 to remove that multiplication. Okay, the coefficient of x is 3. The coefficient of x is the number that multiplies x. Okay, this question comes up. How do I know that I have to divide by 3? You are dividing by the number that multiplies x. Okay, if the number that multiplies x here was 2, you would divide by 2. If it was 5, you would divide by 5. Okay, that is how you know the number that you divide by, the number that is multiplying the variable x. So it pays off. It tells you immediately right here why you divided. 3 divided by 3 is 1. That is what you want the whole time. You want to get just 1x, okay? So 1x is equal to 7 over 3. So this is also just 1x is also just the same as x. So x is equal to 7 fraction bar 3. And that is the answer. If you want to write this fraction, this is an improper fraction. You can write it as a mixed number. Okay, to write this as a mixed number, think about 7 dots. Okay, and you want to make groups of 3. So 7 dots are right here. I want to make groups of 3. I have the first group of 3 right there. I have the second group of 3 right there. And I cannot make any more groups of 3. So I have 1 left. So to write this number as a mixed number, that is what we do. Mixed number. So after we make the groups, okay, by division, we make the groups of 3. Why groups of 3? Because the denominator or the divisor is 3. So how many groups of 3 do we have there? 2 groups of 3. So 2 groups of 3. And then this one that is left becomes a fraction of the divisor of 3. Okay, so x is also equal to 2 and 1/3 if you wrote it as a mixed number.